We are very grateful for the opportunity to have been here. Kingston's been awesome. We're going to have to move on simply because life is calling and there's a lot more that we have to accomplish, and we've definitely accomplished a whole lot here. We asked for a lot of help. We looked for a lot of advice in our relationship and in life, and this may be the most welcoming community we've ever been in. And we still have a lot of work to do in our lives and our relationship, but we want to say thank you to the Kingston Borough community, the Kingston Police, for having our back while we took a little hiatus in our life to, get our lives on track and get our heads in a good space. Thanks to you guys. You guys played a big role in why we get to move forward with our lives. God bless you. Peace out for now.
Oh, wow, that was quick. Hi, I'm Jimmy. I'm here to talk about something. I'm just waiting for everybody to roll in. I am seeking advice one more time. I don't want your money right now. I don't want your time. Well, I guess I want your time no matter what, but I could definitely use your advice. Stephen, welcome on. Just understand if somebody gives me advice that I don't want to accept and they keep trying to push it on me, I'm creating healthy boundaries by blocking them. Because if I say I'm not interested in what you're selling, I did ask you to sell me something. If I don't like what you're selling, I can say no to you. There's nothing wrong with that. But if someone doesn't accept the no and they get blocked, then that's okay. You're not going to get blocked for offering advice. You're going to get blocked for trying to push it on me the second time. Or just like trying to explain to me why you're right and I'm wrong. I know what pieces I have, and it is not every piece on the chessboard. And so I'm scared. I'm trying to figure out what to do next. It is a Wednesday afternoon though, so I definitely picked the worst time to come on. But that's okay. Um, I don't know what to do. I feel very, very trapped. Caitlin feels very, very trapped. We feel trapped here. Now we're leaving. It's a nice town and everything, but it's just like we feel trapped. We feel trapped by every part of our scenario for the most part. We feel trapped by money. We feel trapped by certain parts of the social attention. We feel trapped. I mean, I don't know about Caitlin, but even I let me start saying me. I feel trapped by money. I feel trapped by things. I feel trapped by people. I feel trapped by this apartment. I feel trapped by if I were to just hit the road again, like I'm terrified, or if we were to hit the road, I am terrified of something wrong going wrong again and just, happening poorly because of my lack of preparation, Caitlin's lack of experience. She is in no position to face that again. We will both fail because she is still learning to be independent. Staying here is not an option, but at the same time, moving is, I mean, literally just on the cusp of work. It might just work, but I mean, we're literally, it's like running away from responsibility again because I mean, we're not even paying any of our own bills. And I mean, we're making a couple $100s a month on YouTube. And it's just, yeah, I can't go get a regular job. We know that. Kate can't go get a regular job. We know that. Kate and I need to have space without actually separating, because the moment we separate, some crazy guy is interested in her, like but for real. Then with me, the second I step away, I get arrogant and prideful, and I just want to run off and say I can figure it all out myself, and I know I can't. So I'm smart enough to stay here or stay with Kate, because I know that, she's keeping me grounded, but the problem is she's holding me down too. And I think I'm holding her down, but it's like I don't know how I'm holding her down. I already said why Kate can't get a job. I'm not going to repeat myself. Thank you. I say that with respect. If I'm rude, I'm rude, but I'm very hurt. And so I'm letting you know that I will not repeat myself. I've already said it. Seraphin, welcome on. How are you? If you have to watch the replay, then you'll have to watch the replay. But I am done repeating myself for other people. And instead of, naysaying and asking me why can't something work, I'm letting you know that something can't work. I'm saying that I don't know what to do. That does not mean that we look at options that I already said can't happen. I'm telling you what things cannot happen, what things are not going to work. Okay. I need your help finding new things that can work, that can happen. That's what we're asking advice for. Thank you, Butter. We're trying to figure out what can work. How are you? I'm not good at all, quite honestly. And neither is Kate. We're not good. And we keep trying to convince ourselves that we're good and that everything is just going to be okay. And it's not. And it's not going to be if we keep continuing this way of just constantly being afraid of everything around us and everybody around us. But it's like the second that we just try to live our lives our way, through social media, it's just an absorbent amount of pressure from everyone around us. I got people that are like passive aggressive in my inbox. Like I tell them like I'm definitely not interested in communication, and they just will not let go. It's just constant drama. And he pulled back and forth, because over the years I pulled back and forth. Well, I'm officially pulling away. I'm saying I'm no longer interested. It is a toxic relationship for me. And what it comes down to is the people that are toxic in my life that I'm pushing out of my life will not accept the idea that they are the toxic one at this point. And I'm making it very blatantly clear about what I'm doing. And they're waiting. Here's the thing, guys. When you have someone who's very like narcissistic in a fashion of passive aggressivism, as you might know, is get them to communicate with you one more time, because the moment I open that line of communication, they're going to use it to say, oh, well, no, I got 14 more questions. Oh, no, I just want to know this one thing. And then you answer that question and they got 14 more. And before you know it, they're in your head. And so I have one of those. I have a Karen on my tail, as you might call it on TikTok. And I just need it off of my tail. And I need all these people who just keep trying to get in my head and try and tell me how to live to get out, because I'm not asking you to tell me how to live. I'm asking you to help me brainstorm. I need help brainstorming. That's the only thing that I am asking for help with. And I want to make it very clear that any other form of communication, such as just telling me what to do, is unwelcomed. It's harassment. It's pressure, inappropriate pressure, and I do not welcome it. I am welcoming healthy brainstorming about new ideas that can bring new content to a new life that we're trying to figure out how to live. And we could really use your help with that. Big hugs. Thank you, Seraphin. Larry, welcome on. Gabby, how are you? Welcome on. Because I'm on here in desperation. When I first came on to Periscope, it was not in desperation, but it's become more and more desperate as time goes on. Because at this point, I have 3 very intelligent people who are willing to help me, but at this point, they're just like, okay, now you figure it out. Nice hat, Fox. Thank you. That at this point, they're saying, now you figure it out. And even Katie now is like saying, you figure it out. She's learning how to figure it out on her own, though, like her piece of it. But like, once again, I'm asking you guys instead of just looking to her, instead of asking Katie to figure it out. But is it fair to ask her to figure it out? No, you don't have to do anything. Katie, I literally just thought of this right now. Like literally in this moment thought of it. I'm going to take my hint and I'm going to go work with Katie. And I'm going to ask Katie for help. I'm going to ask Katie for her advice on what she thinks I should do. Because I'm willing to ask every other man. And I have a very intelligent woman sitting next to me. And just because she's young and she doesn't want to make choices, I'd like to say then that means that she doesn't know how to make them. That's not necessarily true. And I'm assuming that it is. And I don't know that until I talk to her. So I'm going to leave and I'm going to talk to Kate and I'm going to ask her what she thinks. Or realistically, I'll put you guys on mute because I might get she doesn't know. And if she doesn't know, it's okay. She's a 19-year-old girl. She shouldn't have to be, figuring out my life. But I mean, this is how hard I'm working to get myself together without having to rely on somebody else, because that's what I was taught from young. Don't rely on other people. Figure it out yourself. Don't rely on other people. And I'm learning how to not rely on other people. But guys, in my eyes, for my level of intelligence, if I were to go get a job or whatever, I am relying on other people. I'm trading my time for money. I'm relying on someone else. If I go to the government, I'm relying on someone else. You kind of look Swedish. Thank you. So, I want to go ask Katie for help. I want to ask her advice. I don't want to lean on her. I'm not looking to, what is it? What did I just say? To depend on, to rely on her. I want to learn from her if she has advice. It's just, I'm so afraid because every time I ask Katie for advice, she has a panic attack because she's like, well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But it's like, I know that she knows. I'm the one that doesn't know. But everybody else is trying to say that I know what's going on or that I know what I'm doing. I'm the only one saying that I don't know what I'm doing, but at least I'm trying. So I'm going to see what Katie has to say. Just give me 2 minutes. I don't think I can mute it. Can I mute it? Can I mute a broadcast? Is that a thing? What, Katie, you don't know. I love you. I'm sorry, but I know you don't know. I know you. Can I mute? Is that possible? I don't think I can mute it. Okay. Do you want to give me advice publicly or privately? What makes you feel more comfortable? Katie, you're gonna have to get some. I need better handwriting. She's trying to write me something. It was adorable, but I couldn't read it. She's running to the internet, and I'm running to people. That's what we do. We need to start running to it. We both run to the internet in different ways. We need to learn. I will write to you here. Do you want me to not say those things out loud? You don't care. Okay, well, by nature, I will just spell everything. So be careful what you write. Why don't we say it now? You're my teleprompter. You're teleprompting my life. I need that. Oh my God, do I need that? My life to be teleprompted. Because I am just too far off the cuff. I need a producer. And here I said I was the producer. I need a producer. Hi, Karen. How are you? Welcome on. What is your advice? What do you think is best for us to do? Salam. Welcome on. Hello, hello. Kelly in the UK. Welcome on. I'm good. Karen says, hey, Kate. She says, yeah, Katie is creating a healthy boundary for herself. She is officially behind the screen. Do I have permission to tell them why? Okay. Now, when I say things, you know that I am very blunt. Why don't you teleprompt me what you would like them to tell me? Because if not, I will say exactly what I said to you in the kitchen. So, you let me know what you want me to say to them. And that's what I'll say. Guys, I don't have a filter, and that's a problem. I need makeup for my mouth. We have time though, Kate. I'm just joking around. Take time. Take your time. Do 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 do. Are you sure? They ain't gonna believe me. They're gonna think I told you to write this. I need a muzzle for mine sometimes. Same. But I need it because I can't stop eating food. Katie, are you sure? Nobody's gonna believe me. Do I want you to write something else? I don't. I'll be honest, I do want you to write something else. But no. But here's the thing. No matter what you write, most people are still gonna say, okay, let me get a 1 if you believe me that I didn't script this and Katie is truly just telling her truth. Give me 1 if you believe me. Because Katie gave me a little text here and she's going to put it, but it's hers. It's not mine. I did not tell her to say it. Taylor Grace, welcome on. Taylor Grace, I missed it, says $5 Bill Murray. Welcome on, Bill Murray. Katie is sharing why she is taking healthy distance from the screen and the content for herself. And I'm asking, give me a 1 if you believe that I didn't script it. Because I don't see, I just don't understand why people have to say that. I don't think people realize the chaos they're bringing into the world when they act like that. And I'm learning that if I don't want them to have the power and the voice, that I just cannot talk about them. Like, I just have to tell you what Katie said, and then if you don't believe me, that's your problem. Believe what? I just got here. Well, Katie wrote something, and I'm really scared to say it because it's like everything I do makes me look worse. Everything she does makes me look worse. And people just say that she's not telling the truth. And it's like no matter what, they will take away her voice, saying they're trying to give her one. But every time she talks, they don't want to hear it because it exonerates me and proves my innocence. So if her voice proves my innocence, they don't want to hear it. They want to say that I'm holding her down. And it's not true. She has her own voice, and I really am working for her independence and my own. But as soon as she says something, just like in the past, when I told my truth and everyone just called me a liar and said whatever, now it's the same thing with her. They're literally calling her a liar. Like by saying that it's me controlling her or whatever, that is calling her a liar. That is why she's going through so much stuff emotionally, because she's never been called such a liar in her life. And I'm just seeing that now. Is everybody's always believed you when you spoke. Yeah? And for the first time in your life, you have people doubting you, doubting your words. Well, let me tell you, I know what that feels like, and it's super hurtful because my words have been doubted my whole life. Katie tells the truth. Everybody's always trusted Katie's words, and all of a sudden, now that she's with me, she doesn't trust her words. They don't trust her words. And let me tell you something, guys. People, for the most part, did not trust her words, even when we first got together. But I mean on screen. It's always been that way. But if we track back to the beginning, guys, her parents kicked her out of her house, and I took her in, and it was that simple. But people just gaslit and attacked us from day one. Day one. And now we're sitting here with relationship struggles of astronomical criminal proportions, and the only criminals are the people committing crimes against our privacy, against our copyrights, against anything possible that they can get away with. And I mean, half the people doing it quite literally are criminals. And I do not know why the internet is not censored on some level yet, and why they're trying to censor us when we talk about it. Like, I'm pointing out something needs to be fixed. I'm not trying to point out a problem. I'm saying something needs to be fixed. How do we fix it? We can't self-police. It's obviously not working. Somebody needs to step in. But whatever the case, this is Katie's voice. Who stole the copyright? I've been behind. Well, just all my content, like my YouTube content especially, is standard, it's standard use. And people are just taking it and making smut videos out of it. And, for 5 years now, that's what they do. And it's getting more views than my stuff is. And it's ridiculous because it's not even the truth. And then what they do is they'll throw it out there and then they disappear from the internet. And then somebody else will step in and say, I'm taking credit for it. I'm not, no, 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 no. No, there is now someone behind the scenes doing this thing. And it's literally just like angry middle-aged people in the middle of nowhere who like hate their lives. And it just amazes me because they're literally playing CIA. Like they're sitting back pretending like there's some government agency. And so I'm like, where's the conspiracy here? Is it just a bunch of angry old people, or is there actually a conspiracy? Like, what's going on here? Because this level of ridiculousness is something I have never witnessed in my whole life. And I mean, to this day, I still can't wrap my head around the fact that it's happening. Yeah. Okay. So here's what Katie wrote, and here's why Katie isn't on the screen anymore. I feel you. Thank you, Barbie. Here's why. This is what Katie wrote. This is Katie's words. If you choose to leave Katie unheard again and say that I'm the one that is suppressing her voice, no, you are suppressing her voice. Here's her voice in my voice, because no matter how many times you heard her voice, you didn't believe her. And so now she doesn't even want to be on screen. And I don't blame her. But she don't want to talk to you. And I don't blame her. I don't want to talk to you either. Most of you. Some of you, I love you very much. Most of you guys, you don't believe me. Of course that should piss me off. I've given my entire life for this. I'm not just some dramatic broadcaster. We got plenty of those out there. How many of them are given this much? Let me ask you that. I love that hat. Thank you, Fried Doom. How you doing? Katie wants to rewrite. Or she's doing something. So that's what I'm saying. As I give so much, and I don't expect anything in return. It just amazes me when I give everything that people say because I'm not a charity or a business that I'm a fraud. I'm a human. I'm a human. I'm a human. I don't need governmental, environmental, or charitable protection to just act like a human. A human. That's right, Taylor Gray. I don't need protection to act like a human. I don't need some exoneration for innocence. I'm innocent and I'm honest. And just because I'm an asshole doesn't make me less honest. I'm a very honest guy, maybe brutally honest. And the reason I keep going in circles is because I'm afraid to speak Katie's truth for her, because it's just so, I don't want her feeling exposed. I don't want you to be exposed. I want to hide you. I want to protect you. I want to love you. I want to serve you. I want your sins to be hidden. But I mean, really, what do I actually want is I want to love you, and I don't know how to do that. I don't know what's best for her all the time. I don't. And I am messing this up so bad. Like, really, really bad. And so for me, I'm trying to figure out how to do it well. I just don't know how to do it well yet. And I mean, I am messing it up so bad. But you're only hearing my side of the story. And Katie isn't ready to be honest about hers when she's on screen. So, Katie, do you realize that you just wrote this scripted like your father would for me to say in my voice talking about you? And then they would listen to me. And then they would simply clip it and say, look at Jimmy said that about Kate. You didn't think about that. I know it's not your fault. It's your father's for scripting you to the insurance company for your whole life. I witnessed it once. I don't know how many times he did that with you, and I don't even want to know. But this is evil, and it's not her fault. It's not your fault. You didn't. You didn't do this. You're doing it the only way you know how, just like I did. Embellishing stories and selling. That's what I was raised to do. I don't do that anymore. This is what you were raised to do. You're going to need. Hi, Kelly. Um, she wrote something for me to say, but like she said it as if it were just me saying it, and she wasn't there writing it, which is a lot of what her father did with her. Whenever something needed to be done, well, I only witnessed it once, but when she crashed her car, he quite literally wrote her a script to say to the insurance company, and then pulled her into his bedroom and made her like rehearse it. And so I was witness to that. That's my story to tell. I do not care if they get hurt. I care that she is hurt. I am perfectly okay with them being hurt as long as I know that Caitlin's going to be okay because they did something wrong there. He did that wrong. I am only exposing him to help Kate. And it is helping Kate because it's helping her see what she's going through. And it's so difficult because it has to happen live because this conversation here is completely unscripted. And so this growth is happening, but without this amount of social pressure, this stuff doesn't come out. When we just shut the screen off, guys, we just fight. Like we either get along or we fight. And there's not a whole lot of progress. But when the screen is on, there's a hell of a lot of progress. And that's something that we identify with. We just don't know what it means yet. You know what I mean? We're learning how to do that in a healthy way, but we see how much progress we get in our relationship every time the screen comes on. So as long as y'all are okay, oh God, don't fight. We're working on it. We're working on it. But I mean, we are fighting pretty hard and it's completely inappropriate. It's not okay. I'm becoming like my father. She's becoming like her mother. And we need to work on that together. Sometimes on screen. But she can't be on screen because she's too afraid to tell the truth about her past. She's too afraid of her past to be honest in the present. That will build a resentment you cannot remove. Kelly, we definitely can remove it with time and effort and love. We can work through this. It's simply going to take mountains because we made mountains out of molehills. So now we do have mountains. That's right. It's not okay. I miss seeing Kate, says Annie. Okay, well, you'll have to keep missing her until she's ready. We can't continue to pressure her into being uncomfortable. And then when she does things inappropriately, now I'm not talking about things that I've critiqued her on. It's her voice. She's going to express it. But when she's not being herself, and then everyone feels bankrupt, it's on all of us. And I'm not going to let it be on me anymore. And that starts with, Katie, do you want to be on screen? Doesn't want to be on screen. Okay, that's where we start. That's where we start. The most important thing right now is Katie learning to be honest with herself before anybody else. I think she's done well lately. Yes, things have definitely been getting better. And I think this is just a social media hiatus for her. I don't think it's long term. Thank you, Ramiro. Much appreciated. There's certain feelings that actually, no, it's not appreciated. You're pushing your God on me. I don't welcome that. I reject your God. You are not welcome to push your God on me and call it love. It's very insulting. It's invasive. And quite honestly, it's socially entrapping and very narcissistic to come in and tell me about Jesus Christ, that he saved me. Who do you think you are to come here and tell me who my God is? That's narcissistic. That's narcissism. That you know who God is, and there's no possible way that I do, and that I have problems because. But those are all the assumptions that I take from just know that Jesus Christ loves you.
We're basing this on that's like coming at me with a swastika. That's how it makes me feel. Is the same as calling me a Nazi. Calling me a Christian makes me feel the same as when you call me a Nazi. Like, I don't identify with those things. I don't. And anytime someone pushes it on me, it brings a lot of anxiety. I'm not comfortable with it. I've experienced nothing but lies. I'm not interested, and I'd like to be left alone so that I can start getting in my own head and figuring out what my truth is. I don't know yet. Maybe I go back to church. Maybe I become a neo-Nazi. A Nazi one ain't going to happen, and a church one probably ain't going to happen. But I need time to figure out me. I do. I'm finally being honest with myself, and the honest truth is that most everyone is completely dishonest with me. And so when you try to offer me help, it feels like an attack. You need to understand that I'm not delusional. You don't come at me with your God and call it truth and then expect me to just be, oh, thank God. Thank you so much. I reject it because I don't see it as the truth. I see it as a small distortion of whatever the big picture is. And it's only a distortion in so much as you're trying to communicate it to me. If God exists in the church, I'm going to go to church and I'm going to find out. If God exists in Nazism, I'm going to go become a Nazi and I'm going to find out. And I'm not going to do either one of those things. But you're not going to sit here and tell me that you know what my truth is, because I ain't telling you what yours is anymore. And I hope we can all notice that's one pattern in me that's changed. Maybe there's bits and pieces of things that'll be like, this is universal. But I'm really working on not doing that anymore at all, because I don't care anymore. I'm sick of caring so much and then getting beaten and bruised. And then when I get in a fight with my girlfriend and then she ends up emotionally battered, that's only on me. I'm the only one that's going to have to pay for it. And so whenever Kate and I, eventually end up in an actual physical fight again over stuff that doesn't have to happen because of the internet, instead of stepping away from it, which is what we're doing in a healthy way, where we can still have our income, we still have our job, we still talk to you guys, but Katie has her space. All these criminals sitting in the background, boosting our views, Matthew Rife, Chickadee, whatever the fuck, nobody cares. All these people just slandering our names, hiding in the background, being like psychotic criminals. And then they pass it off to somebody else, and now they hide in the shadows and pretend like they're doing nothing. Well, Matthew Rife is boosting my views. I know that for a fact. And I don't owe you an explanation. I don't owe him an explanation. It's not a call-out. He's a fucking scumbag, and it ain't my problem. Not anymore. Okay? I need this. Even if I lose my account, I need this. I need to stand up for myself, and I need this. I need this, guys. I need this for me. Kimberly Anderson. Sit on it and rotate, because you are a miserable fucking prick. You are a coward. And I don't care how much you say you're trying to help somebody. You're just vying for attention. And so as you say you're trying to help somebody, you're only looking for negative attention. Well, you got my attention. And it's the last time you'll ever get it. You have your due. I lose my Periscope account, I lose it. I lose it. But she needs her attention. She needs to be noticed. So she's officially noticed. Matthew Rife wants to pretend like he's in power, hiding in the background, adding dislikes to my videos. No joke. This motherfucker, he must add 50 to 60 dislikes to every one of my videos. Totally fake, leaving me to have to hide my subscriber count, hide my likes and dislikes. They're totally false. Every single I've done it because I got a buddy who lives overseas and he helps me with my YouTube. And he has a lot of experience with YouTube over the years. He's been on YouTube since day one. And it's one person. It's only one single person. And I call him my YouTube contact, but really, it's a guy who just knows a lot about YouTube. And I'm sorry that I've just been so, big and, oh, look at me, I'm so special. But the fact is, he does know what he's talking about. And he says, with over a decade of experience, and he's also dealt with people who, boost stuff. And he's done it himself. But I'm honest about my stuff now. And we know I haven't always been, but I am now. And for a fact, my dislikes are being boosted on my YouTube. And when I say fact, the fact is that the numbers don't add up. Because the amount of people that do support us now is actually building, and the dislikes are getting higher. And the view count doesn't match. The demographics don't match. I have my own analytics in my channel, and I know how to read my analytics. I'm an analyst. Guys, I cured my own freaking bipolar, okay? I'm an analyst. I can figure stuff out. And I can read my own numbers so simply, and it's so simple. My dislikes are being boosted. It's a crime. It is defamation. And because the internet isn't at a place where they can police themselves yet, actual criminals will just get to sit in the background, unknown, unnamed. And while, you know what? I'm finally getting over it, and it feels good. It feels good to at least be semi-responsible. I might not be the most responsible guy yet, but you know what? I'm not defaming anyone. I'm exposing the truth. I'm exposing the truth before the state of Pennsylvania does not permit me to call out the guy who's blasting my dislikes. It's not defamation. I have been harassed for 5 years nonstop. 4 years. So there's your truth. There's only 3 people left, and one of them I don't even see existing anymore. It just does whatever they're doing. That's cool. I'm glad. I don't have no more beef, and hopefully they don't have beef anymore. I think that's good. They have their community. They're building their community. Good for him. That's why he remains unnamed, because he finally deserves his privacy from me. I not that I gave him his privacy, but like, thank God that I'm just being left alone because I really am trying to do better. Thank you so much, because I don't care what you've done to me in the past, but what you're doing right now is leaving me alone. And I know you're not doing that for me, right? You're not doing it for me. But like, then forget thank you. Then I won't thank you for it. Then I won't thank you for it. But then I'm thankful to the universe or God or life. I am thankful that that person is finally just leaving me alone, because I am genuinely trying to get better. And like, I am broken. I am crumbles on the ground. And I might be able to put on a good show, but everybody knows that I'm completely torn apart. And you seeing me torn apart is not going to make me any better. Like, you seeing my feelings is not going to make me better. Because even if you care about my feelings, there are 1,000,001 people out there that will use my feelings against me to make me worse. And so I can't afford it. Emotionally, psychologically, I can't afford to share my feelings with you right now. And I finally realized the value of my own personal worth, and that I have to maintain my internal privacy. And sometimes that includes my public privacy. And me exposing what other people did to me is not the same as me going after them. It's not an attack where there's some victim. They have abused and attacked me nonstop, these 2 individuals, for 4 years straight. Matthew Rife was the first one to offer me a hotel room, him and Luna. And then what ended up happening, guys? All they were trying to do was try and do something that would make me look crazy, right? Seriously, that's what they were doing. They offered me a hotel room because if I got into that hotel room and they had a conversation with me and they got me to say certain things and do certain things, which we know what we're all talking about here because it's called entrapment, then they would have been able to frame that on the internet and ruin my life for what? Ruin my life for good. Like what? Well, Kelly, that's the point. You don't want to know. Guys, I don't want to feed you information on how they do what they do, because it's only going to tempt you to do it or make you afraid it's going to happen to you. It's not going to happen to you because you're not trying to do what I'm doing. You're not trying to actually succeed at this. You're relaxing. You're talking with your friends. You know, you're on Periscope to relax. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not on Periscope to relax. I've tried to tell you guys that from day one. I am not here just to relax. This has always been and will always be a mission to me. And even if I lose this account again, well, guess what? I'll step away. I'll go do my other stuff. And when I'm looking even better and things are even better, in a couple of months, I'll reach out to Periscope again and I'll ask for my account back. And more than likely, because I'll be on a further track to health, they will give it back to me. Or even maybe they will see what I've done here. Maybe I'll just get penalized for this video. Or maybe I won't get penalized because realistically they see that I have been harassed this heavily. And just not talking about it is not how things get better. Things have to be talked about. Feelings included. And this is the best way I can communicate my feelings right now. I would do stuff like that, whatever that is. I just watch. Yeah. So what you can watch is me getting healthier every day and Katie getting healthier every day. But that does include Katie not being on screen for now. She needs her privacy. She wants to be involved, but she needs her privacy. And she wrote that little note for me to tell her truth. I don't think you're ready to hear it. I don't think you ever should have to hear it. With all due respect, it's nobody else's business. Whatever is best for her. That's right. That's what we all want. That's what we all want. Her truth is that she is in a really bad place doing some really bad things. And her exposing herself is not going to make them better. It's not. We're going to work on it together in private. And I will sit here and let people say whatever they want because I am the guy that signed on for this. She signed on for me. She didn't sign on for this. She did, in a way, because she doesn't get me without you guys or this. But it's my turn to respect her space and time that it's going to take her for her to acclimate to the lifestyle of complete honesty. It's a very difficult lifestyle. And it's much scarier than just getting a job or traveling the country. Honesty is the scariest thing in the world for me. So I live on the edge of fear. And it doesn't make me courageous. It makes me smart. It's very smart to communicate honestly. It's not always smart to communicate openly, but it's very smart to communicate honestly. Sometimes it's smart to communicate openly. It's not always the healthy thing to do because I communicated openly with the internet, and it was not a healthy decision. So, afternoon. Hi, Go for Hockey. How are you? And says, bro, that's it. Together, be honest, be honest, open, and communicate. Without that, no relationship will last. Yeah, and we're about to lose ours because of our behavior. We're about to lose everything because of our behavior. I'm thinking, like I said, us leaving here, we have to do that. Going to an apartment, though, I feel trapped. I really do. I feel so trapped living in an apartment. But then I'm so scared living out there. But we don't have enough money to stay in hotels and whatnot. We're trying to figure out what to do because we're not asking you for your money anymore. We're not. We're trying to figure out, okay, how do we do this? How do we build this when we both feel like we're completely out of time? I'm Mike Tanner. How are you? It is a lot for people. They just do not admit it. It is for a lot of people, being honest. They just don't admit it. We're willing to go become narcissistic and lie pathologically before be honest. Guys, as I sit with you today, I am 100% honest about who I am. And I tell the honest truth as much as I can. There may be things that I might have even lied about that I don't even mean to lie about. But you need to know that I'm not meaning to lie about them. And if you feel like I'm lying, it is only a feeling. If I'm lying, it's an accident. I promise. There is no pathology here. I am not your narcissistic ex-boyfriend. I'm not. I am an abusive ex-boyfriend. But I'm learning how to not be abusive. Caitlin's learning how to not be abusive. We are both abusive in very different ways. And it's an extremely toxic relationship that we're working through because we won't give up on one another. And we will not run to a different room and make space to say that everything's okay. And we will not run to our religion to say that everything's okay. We know things are not okay. And we're honest about that. We're working on it together. We are asking for your advice. And if we do not like it, it is our God-given right to say no thank you. It is also our God-given right to say thank you. And yes, if we hear something that fits our life, our plan, our truth, how we live. So thank you for giving us healthy space as we work on our growth together. It is scary and a lot of work. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. A belated hi. David, welcome on, and thank you for not interrupting. David has always been a sweetheart, very good guy. He's been around for a long time, and he all like the guy doesn't even have followers. He's just chilling. He's just so polite. Good guy. I like him. Thank you, David. He's always very polite. Anon says, dude, it just happens. I just went through all that with a divorce, and it's scary as F starting over. We're not going to do that. We both know we're not going to do that. But if we don't work on it together while juggling everything we're handling here, like all at once, we have to have all the balls in our hands and be willing to. Or I'm going to end up in jail, and she's going to end up in a woman's shelter, and she's going to have people making excuses for her for the rest of her life while she's the victim, and she'll end up a narcissistic liar like 75% of my audience. And the other 25% of my audience, for the most part, is narcissistic lying males who have abused their spouses. And so I'm looking for the 1% of people within my audience that are like me and Kate, that they've been through crap, they've done crap, and they know they're still good people, and they really want to work on getting better, or they are getting better. And you have advice on how we can stick together and end the abuse together. Jimmy, can't your bio mom help you for a while with a place to stay, when even just for a while? Kelly, truthfully, no. Her and I share DNA. I can't stop talking, and all she talks about is Jesus Christ. And then that will be very toxic for Kate and I. And I will reject that very heavily because I feel very attacked by it. And because she's my mother, I will also want to let her words into my heart, which will then corrupt my heart over to a religion, which then will just make me a cultist. Not saying that the religion is the cult, but saying that I will buy into the religion because I'm looking for an answer. And then I will be screaming to everyone else how Jesus Christ is their answer. And I'll be right back where I started. Or I'll end up beating my own mother. And like, that's who I am. You can judge me all you want, or you can realize that I have been this heavily beaten emotionally, psychologically, physically, on every level. I am mush. I am scrambled eggs. I am crumbles on the ground as I sit here in front of you. And the hardest part for people to perceive is that I could possibly still be pushing forward. I could possibly be still able to hold this face. Well, let me tell you, I am nothing but a 4-year-old crying on the floor right now. That's the only thing happening inside. And I am smart enough not to let you see it. Because you won't believe me anyway. And the moment that I let myself be vulnerable with people who don't understand me, they use it as an opportunity to either try and help, and then I accept the wrong help, or they try to hurt me. And so I'm very fragile right now. I'm extremely fragile. And yes, I am also very combative. I am very combative right now. And me and Kate, it's not, I mean, not that, but like, I'm combative. And that isn't healthy for anybody, even me. But I am definitely combative for a reason. Guys, somebody does not get combative like me. Okay, I was very docile growing up. Extremely docile. I was very quiet. I was cool. I was collected. I was that timid little kid. What you're seeing right now is just a shell on the outside of that timid little kid. I had to put that shell on so that I could make it through the atmosphere and survive and not burn up. And so now I feel like I made it into orbit, and I'm trying to learn how to get those scales off. I just don't know how yet. Caitlin knows how to get them off of me, and I know how to get them off of her. And so we're grooming each other into a healthy place. It's going to take a lot of time, and neither one of us has a blueprint on how that looks or how to do that. But we are figuring it out.
Um, I hate to say this, but I had to give up on my ex-wife to be happy. Anon, if that's what you had to do to find happiness, that's your prerogative, that's your life. For us, we are seeking joy beyond happiness. We have joy with one another, even when we're fighting. We're talking about a relationship where we'll have hate sex and we're smiling. And it is just the most. Katie, was that okay to share? Baby, I'm sorry. I love you. Was that too sensitive? If it's a yes, please say yes. Thank you. I apologize to everyone and to Katie that was inappropriate to share. We're not in a great place. And for some people, that may be appropriate, but it is not the relationship Caitlin and I desire to have. Any of this, except for, the platform itself and the people. That's what we want. All the rest of it, I didn't know I was signing up for that. Neither did Katie. So we're trying to make those boundaries, learn those boundaries. Do you and Kate feel relationship wise is better since Josh left or worse? With all due respect to Josh, it is 4,000% better. And it had a lot more to do with having a man in the house who was not sure of his sexual identity and also felt very strongly towards Caitlin and myself. And so it was a rather unique situation. And now I think we've all moved on to a better part of life. Are we not saying fee piece anymore? You say fee piece all you want, bro. I don't legally own fee piece. I am fee piece. Everybody calls me fee piece. I started fee piece, but somebody else illegally purchased the trademark, illegally, is putting whatever. Let them do what they had to. I don't care. They could, put like a cease and desist out and tell me not to say it. I'll keep saying it. Let them try and take my stuff down. Watch how my fan base reacts. Watch how everybody reacts when someone else shuts down fee piece. They're not going to be too happy. They're going to pretend like they're happy for a minute. Then they're going to get bored and be like, Jimmy is actually gone now. And everyone's going to think that's what they wanted. And then when I'm gone, they're going to be like, can we get him back? It's never too late. And I'm the guy prepared to have to shut my mouth for a while if someone decides to illegally silence it. Because eventually they're going to be found out. And I'm not going to lift a finger about it. I'll just figure out what to do then. I just don't know what to do. I don't know what to do then, now. I'm just going to chill. Say fee piece while I want to say fee piece. Irish, welcome on. Have you tried maybe taking a break and working on yourselves for a bit, or have you tried that? We are working on ourselves together. We are individually in a relationship. It is two individual. Katie, do you still believe in two becomes one? I no longer believe in the idea of two becomes one. We feel that it is a very heavy and unhealthy lie, the notion of two becoming one. It is two together working as a unit that looks like one because it operates twice as well or multiplicably more well than each individual without each other. So Caitlin and I are like a unit, and we work together, and we also love each other, and we are learning to keep appropriate mental boundaries between each other, even just keeping our own mental space, because we thought we were raised that two becomes one. And so we literally tried to make two become one. And that's insane because at the end of the day, she is female, I am male, and it is physically impossible for the two of us to become one. We can experience oneness together on a euphoric and chemical level. We can experience true love. We can connect on a level that gives an out-of-body or in-body experience with one another. But at the end of the day, whether or not we become one when we die, I don't know that. I just know that as long as I'm alive, I trust what I see and I trust what I know. And what I know is we can become one as much as humanly possible, except being like literally sharing our brain. We can't share our brain. I have a brain, she has a brain.
And when we try to share it, we've tried to share each other's brain. And it just made me further scrambled eggs and almost made her scrambled eggs. So two becoming one, no longer on the agenda. We are working towards individualistic communication in a positive relationship. No judging here. Thank you, Kelly. Anon, what are you talking about? What triggered this mood today? Bill Murray, it isn't a mood. I appreciate you, but I'm not just going through a mood. Are you guys actually chalking this up to me just having a mood? If so, then I have truly overestimated all of you. With love, I know that's so mean, but do you seriously think that I'm just in a mood? Like, I'm talking about some super important stuff. This ain't a mood. This is like super important. I'm not in a mood that like this is just gonna pass. This is our life. It doesn't just pass. It's not passing us by. That's why I'm trying to talk about it. That's why we're trying to figure it out. And we're willing to figure it out on screen because it builds our career, it builds our relationships, our connections, all of that. It has an impact on everything. That's why I'm doing this. It's not just a mood. I'm not just sitting here relaxing like most people do on Periscope. This is very real to me. This is very real for the both of us. This is not just a mood or a show for us. This is our life. It may be just a show for you, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It can be just a show for you. It's not for us, just so you know. The podcast sounded cool. I like the direction, the direction and promo. Thank you, Boomer. I appreciate that. Welcome from France. How are you, Hugo? Good to see you. I meant combative. Bill Murray, or $5 Bill Murray. You've seen me be in a combative place probably since the day that you entered my broadcast. You've never known me being myself. So this truly is not nearly a combative place as I've been in the past. Wouldn't you agree? This is me being myself. Welcome to Fifi, says Champagne Chachi. Welcome on. How are you? But I'm not nearly as bad as I used to be. But in real life, I'm getting a hell of a lot worse because Caitlin has been like, I didn't create a healthy boundary. I let her be on my screen. Like, I worked for this. She didn't. She didn't. And that's okay. She's going to work on her own thing. She's going to work on her own thing, whatever that is. But I literally just handed practically, here with you guys, practically handed her a loaded weapon and expected her to understand how to fire it well, or handed her a hammer. And when all she's seen other people do is swing it and hit other people in the head, I was confused when she didn't hammer a nail. And you guys don't know how she's swung at people's heads or how she's hit me in the head. But like I said, she's got to work through that on her own, off screen. So that's where things are. So yes, I am rather combative, but I'm getting less combative every day. And I do have a slew of Facebook messages about items that I'm selling on Facebook from our home. So I'm gonna go answer those. I'm gonna get these because we already got a couple $100, which is good. Thank God. But we don't even know what we're doing yet. So if you guys could do me a favor and maybe brainstorm on what different ideas might be, like that take real thought, not just go get a job, get on welfare, like brainstorm. If if my life was your content, which it already is, just let me know what you would want to see. What content would you want to see? But nobody wants to tell me. You could give me a little bit of direction about what I'm going to do with my life if you tell me what's going to enthrall you. What are you really going to enjoy if we do that content? Or realistically, if you can't tell me, I guess I'm just going to have to keep stumbling through it, and that's okay. It's not on you. So I love you guys. I really do. I always did. I have behaved very poorly. But realistically, I hope we all now see that this is my way of stumbling through life and figuring out how to do it well. I never did do it well. I'm learning how. But I am still a crumbly mess. I am still a little kid inside and I'm scared. And I do have a reason to be. Because my life is at risk. So, talk real soon. See what you come up with.